Hey, what's up everybody? This is Keegan here and welcome back to the channel, and I'm back with a brand new video for you guys. And today I'm bringing you guys another questions and answers video for you guys. And this is going to be my questions and answers video for November of 2021. And as always, if you have any questions you'd like me to answer in the next video, feel free to leave them in the comments below of either this video or some of my newer videos that'll be out after this video. And the next questions and answers video that's coming out will be the last questions and answers video for 2021. So once again, if you have any questions you'd like me to answer, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I will answer them in the next video. Now onto today's video. So today I have a total of 22 questions to answer this time. So I don't really have too much else to add, so sit back, relax, enjoy the video, and let's take a look at the questions you guys left for me in the last video. So starting off in alphabetical order by username, the first 6 questions come from andykishore. His first question is, are you aware that the Call of Duty franchise originally started out as a PC game for Microsoft Windows? Excuse me. I only ask because I feel like most players prefer playing Call of Duty games on the console versions nowadays. Yes, I'm aware that the Call of Duty franchise originally started out on the PC. Or in fact, the very first Call of Duty game that came out in 2003 was originally released for the PC. And yes, there are still PC gamers that play Call of Duty on PC, but yeah, there are a lot of console players out there that play Call of Duty. But yeah. So thanks for the question, andykishore. And now on to the next question from andykishore, and his question is, are you aware that the first Halo game, let me try that again. Are you aware that the first Halo video game, Halo Combat Evolved, turned 20 years old on November 15th, 2021? Yes, I'm aware that it turned 20 years old this year, but I didn't know what month it came out. So, yeah, the game is 20 years old and was one of the first games to come out on the original Xbox. And I think it's still one of the best Halo games to this day. Although, personally, I think the best Halo game, in my opinion, is between Halo 3 and Halo Reach. Well, this is just my opinion. I loved Halo 3 and Halo Reach. It's hard to believe that next year, Halo 3 will be 15 years old when that game came out in 2007. It's hard to believe. So anyways, on to the other questions. The next one from andykishore is, are you aware that they're making a new show called House of Dragons, which is a prequel to the television series Game of Thrones? Yes, I'm aware of the prequel series of Game of Thrones that's coming out. Hopefully it'll be good. Game of Thrones was a great show up until the last season. I was really disappointed with the last season. Well, I'm pretty sure nobody liked the last season of Game of Thrones. But it was a good show, nonetheless, despite the last season being shit. But yeah. The next one from andykishore is, did you hear about the new South Park movie post-COVID coming out on November 25th, 2021? I don't know if it's actually a movie. I think it's supposed to be a special, kind of like the COVID special they did last year, but I'm pretty sure it's just a special, but maybe it's a feature-length special, sorry. But yeah, I'm aware of it. Anyways, the next one from andykishore is, what's the coolest planet in the coolest looking planet in the solar system? Saturn, I guess. I think Saturn looks pretty cool. And the last question from andykishore is, did you hear the recent news on how YouTube wants to get rid of the dislike button on videos? Yes, I'm aware of it, and yesterday they just got rid of the dislike button on YouTube for pretty absurd reasons that I think we all know has nothing to do with, quote, harassing campaign or whatever the claim was. I think that's just a bunch of BS. Well, it's not the first time they took down the dislike button. They did something like that earlier this year over the summer, I believe. But it was just a test. But I think they got rid of it for good. But who knows? I'm sure they'll bring it back one of these days. But it is pretty stupid why they got rid of the dislike button. It's just absurd. So those are all the questions from andykishore, and thanks for all the questions, andykishore. Now let's move on to some other questions I have to answer. So let's move on. So the next 5 questions all come from GTA 5 fan 22. His first question is, have you seen my letterbox account? No, I have not seen your letterbox account. I tried typing it up on Letterbox the other day, but I couldn't find it. But I'm sure I'll find it eventually. The next one from GTA 5 fan 22 is, do you have the Apple TV app? No, I don't have the Apple TV app. The next one from GTA 5 fan 22 is, do you think that they are making way too many Marvel and DC movies? Yes, and now this is my opinion, but I think there's way too many DC and Marvel movies coming out. They seem like to come out every year, it seems. Now, it's not bad, it's just, why don't they just make a new one every couple years? But they seem to be making new ones every year. Well, for Marvel at least. DC makes newer movies every few years. Like this year they came out with Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is ridiculously 4 hours long. I have not seen it, and I probably won't. It's just I'm not that interested in it. Well, I guess you could count that. I'm not sure if you can really count that as a new movie, since it's just like a new version of the original movie that came out in 2017. But personally, I think there's just way too many Marvel and DC movies these days. But it's fine if you like them or you don't like them, but me personally, I think they just make way too many of them. Sure, they're successful. It's just really they're really kind of the same movies, basically. The good guys win and the bad guys lose, yada, 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 and they're all 2 hours long. But there's nothing wrong if you like Marvel and DC movies, but for me, it's just, they're not really my thingy like a lot of the newer ones. But don't get me wrong, there are some good Marvel movies out there, like the original Spider-Man movies, the Sam Raimi ones, the one with Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. There's also, what's another good Marvel movie? Trying to think. Some of the MCU movies are pretty good, like Captain America, the First Avenger was pretty good. Avengers Infinity War, the one that came out before Endgame, was pretty good. And DC has some good ones, like the Dark Knight trilogy, the 1989 Batman, Joker, even though that seems like a completely different movie than the other DC movies. But yeah. But I don't really have too much else to add to that, but I think there is way too many Marvel and DC movies. But yeah, so let's move on to the other questions that GTA 5 fan 22 has for me, which the next one is, have you heard of a movie called Pink Flamingos? Even though it got good reviews, someone told me it's one of the worst movies ever made. Yeah, I've heard of it. It was a John Waters movie. It was John Waters' first movie. I hear it's a pretty gross movie from what I've heard. Especially a certain scene where, I'm not going to say it, but it's pretty nasty. I kind of want to see it, though, to see if it's really that bad. If it's really that disgusting. Other than the ending, which I know apparently the thing was real, apparently. Ugh. But yeah, I'll probably check it out one of these days. And the last one from GTA 5 fan 22 is, do you think a female version of James Bond would work? I personally don't think it would work. I gotta agree, I don't think it would work. It should stay a male James Bond. But yeah, I think it's better with a male James Bond. And I hear that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson wants to be the next James Bond. Honestly, I actually would kind of see that. Just, I know it might sound weird, but I actually would pay to see how he would do his Bond. But I don't know if he's really the kind of actor that would play James Bond. But if he does play James Bond, I'll probably see it, because that's actually kind of interesting, to be honest with you. So those are all the questions from GTA 5 Fan 22. Thanks for all the questions, Miss GTA 5 Fan 22. And now let's move on to the other questions I have to answer. These next 11 questions come from ThatMovieNerd 44, and his first question is, are there any films based on a book that you like more than the book themselves? I'm not really sure. There are some movies based on books that I have read the book and seen the movie of that I like. I think Holes is a great one that's both the book and movie is great. No Country for Old Men is great. But I don't know what's my favorite movie based on a book that I like better than the book. There's a lot of really good ones out there. The next one from ThatMovieNerd 44 is, what do you think of movie remakes in general? I don't mind remakes, but personally, there's way too many remakes these days. There seems to be nothing original left. It's either just a rehash of another movie or just a remake that nobody asked for. Even if it's a remake for a movie that's not even 20 or 30 years old yet or more. It's getting ridiculous. Why is there nothing original these days? Well, don't get me wrong, there are still original movies out there, but there's a lot of remakes coming out of Hollywood these days, other than just superhero movies and shit like that. And unnecessary sequels, might I add. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that one. The next one from ThatMovieNerd 44 is, what do you think of the Ring movies with Naomi Watts? Do you know that the first Ring is a remake of a Japanese horror film of the same name? The first Ring is the only good one in the series. The second one was meh, and I've not seen the 2017 Rings, the one that didn't have Naomi Watts in it, but I hear that one's supposed to be terrible. And yes, I heard that the first Ring is a remake of a Japanese horror movie called Ringu. I've never seen Ringu, but I'd like to check it out someday. The first Ring is pretty good. It's pretty creepy too, to be honest. Not necessarily scary, but it's pretty creepy. So, yeah. So anyways, the next one is, what's your favorite James Bond film? I don't know what's my favorite James Bond movie, but some of my favorite James Bond movies consist of Casino Royale, Skyfall, what's another one? GoldenEye was great. I also thought The World Is Not Enough and Tomorrow Never Dies are both pretty underrated. Pierce Brosnan. I think most of the Pierce Brosnan Bond movies were underrated, although Die Another Day was my least favorite, although that one was okay. I also liked, what was it? The Living Daylights, one of the two Bond movies with Timothy Dalton. I also thought Octopussy was underrated too. The one with a very provocative title. But I don't know what's my favorite James Bond movies, but some of the ones I said are some of my favorites. So, yeah. But I don't know what's my favorite James Bond movie. So anyways, moving on. The next one is, have you heard of Dune, 1984? David Lynch considers it as the only failure of his career. Yes, I've heard of the original Dune movie from 84. I mentioned it in my review of the new Dune movie that I did recently, like the review of the movie I did recently of the new one. I haven't seen the 1984 Dune movie, but I heard mixed things about it. I'm kind of curious about it. I'd like to check it out at some point. But I haven't seen it, but I know it's considered David Lynch's weakest movie, along with Inland Empire, which was his last major movie he directed. Anyways, moving on. What do you think of Saturday Night Live? I don't watch it at all. It's just, I don't know. It's not really for me. I don't know. I just don't really have interest in watching SNL. I don't know. It's just, I never really watch it. Anyways, the next one is, have you heard of Goanimate? I don't think they're around as much anymore. Yeah, I've heard Goanimate. It's kind of stupid, to be honest. A lot of these people make these stupid videos where some character gets grounded for virtually no reason, and it's just, I honestly don't get how people find it entertaining. It's just stupid. I don't know. It's just, yeah, I don't get it. The next one is, do you know about the prop gun incident involving Alec Baldwin? Yes, and I think everyone's heard of it. There's a lot of memes going around about the incident. It's not because the memes are making fun of the victim, but they're making fun of Alec Baldwin because Alec Baldwin is a psycho. Well, that's not to say I do feel sorry for the victim, but Alec Baldwin, sure, he's said some anti-Second Amendment thingies, but he clearly had no idea how to function a gun properly, and how the hell could that prop gun have went off? I really blows my mind. It was kind of like what happened to Brandon Lee when they were filming The Crow. But yeah, I've heard of the Alec Baldwin thingy. But it is terrible what happened, though. But what I really want to know is, like, how the hell could that have happened? I guess we'll never find out. Alright, there's only 3 questions left, and then we'll be done this video. So, the next one from ThatMovieNerd 44 is, what is your least favorite Wes Anderson film? I don't know what's my least favorite Wes Anderson movie. I'm not sure yet. The next one is Call of Duty or Battlefield? I'd say Battlefield. Sure, Battlefield had its ups and downs over the years, mainly with EA and their bad decision making. Well, I think Battlefield's better than Call of Duty. Call of Duty is just the same shit every year, and it barely changes other than just the maps and just, I don't know, it's just a copy paste of every game ever since it started to get popular. And no, I'm not going to get the new Call of Duty. I'm just not really interested in Call of Duty much anymore. I will get the new Battlefield. The new Battlefield looks pretty fun. And the last one from ThatMovieNerd 44, and this is also the last question for this video, is what are your least favorite video games? Some of my least favorite video games are Sonic Free Riders on the Xbox 360, which was a Kinect game. That game was so terrible. What's another game I don't like? The Bugs Life game on N64 is terrible. I don't really know. I don't really know too much games that I don't like that are some of my least favorites. I don't know, I barely remember some of the bad games that I've played. But the only ones that I really hated are those 2 games that I can really think of. But I hope that answers your question. And those are all the questions from ThatMovieNerd 44. And those are all the questions for this video. And thanks everyone for leaving questions. And, well, that wraps up another edition of Questions and Answers. If you guys enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment below, and subscribe for more videos like this. And feel free to follow me on Instagram and letterbox. The link to those are in the description down below. And like I said in the beginning of this video, if you have any questions you'd like me to answer in the next Q&A video, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will be gladly to answer them. But yeah, guys, so thanks again for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. And until next time, this is Keegan Shepard signing off. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.